Hi guys, welcome back to 10 Minute Reviews. Going to talk about another author and another book series. Please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. We read a ton. This is my family's biggest passion, which is why we started this channel. We read. That's what we do. So today I want to talk about a more mainstream author. Normally we talk about indie authors, or smaller authors, books that are just entertaining. I always say I'm not going to talk about the next great American novel. But in this particular case, I do want to talk about an extraordinarily famous series of books by an extraordinarily famous author. Now, these books are a little bit older, but a lot of people have read them, of course. They even made a TV show just recently on these. And what I'm talking about is Isaac Asimov and his Foundation series. Foundation series is absolutely incredible. It's got some real thought-provoking ideas behind it, some of which have actually been somewhat explored by scientists of today in the real world, our world, not a fictional universe. Although this, of course, occurs within a fictional universe. Just absolutely fantastic series. I've read it probably a half a dozen times. Now, it centers around, its premise centers around Harry Seldon. Harry Seldon is what they call a psychohistorian within the book. Now, again, this was written back in, I want to say, the 70s, possibly the 60s, maybe even earlier than that. I don't remember the publication date of the book, but it starts out as a three-book series, three-book trilogy. He did eventually write further books in the series, but I didn't like them all that much. They weren't quite as well connected versus the original premise and the original Foundation series. So the way it works, the idea behind the Foundation series is this is set in the far, far future. So this is definitely science fiction. Far future, we have basically reached that dystopian paradise almost type of universe of society and civilization. Super advanced, super powerful. It highly advanced government, and spanning star systems and technology. And Harry Seldon, psychohistorian, he believes that you can basically if you get enough information, you can basically predict the future in a way. What he believes is instead of looking at individuals, you can't look at an individual, look at an individual's decision making and thought processes in history and figure out what that individual is going to do in the future. But what you can do is you can look at a group, a society, a tribe, a kingdom, a planet, and as a group you can see the trends and you can take a look at their history and you can extrapolate from things they've already done to things that they're capable of now, and the trends of their history and their politics, and extrapolate from that the future and what's going to happen from there. So Harry Seldon, as he creates this AI or computer, not really an AI, computer that can correlate all this information, he realizes that the society he lives in, the government, the civilization he lives in, is primed for a total collapse. It is absolutely going to collapse, and there's utterly no way around it. Just cannot be avoided. But from his research, he has realized that what's going to be basically the Dark Ages is going to last something like 20,000 years. It's going to be a long time before humanity manages to claw its way out of whatever revolution or collapse of society that occurs, or collapse of government, and bring itself back. But what he has also realized is that if he uses the information that he has, he's going to be able to tweak things a little bit, make a few changes here and there to compress that Dark Ages time period for the galaxy down into just 1,000 years, maybe less. And that's his goal. So what he does, he's basically almost a pariah, political pariah, because of his beliefs. Your government's about to collapse. There's nothing you can do about it. Your whole system is about to fail. Of course, the government doesn't like that any, but he's pretty well known. He's fairly intelligent. I mean, he's obviously very intelligent. So he gets the funds to create what he calls the Foundation. And now part of this is, and part of the promise he makes is that he's going to do it away from the Galactic Hub. He's going to create the Foundation pretty far away. So basically, they give it to him to get him pretty much out of their hair. So he goes to a kind of a almost end of the world planet to create this. He calls it just a library. He says he's creating a library. He wants to create a library of galactic history and knowledge to help society claw its way out of the Dark Ages. It's almost like a historical and knowledge-based doomsday vault is kind of what he's sort of creating. And he brings psychologists or psychohistorians, as they call them, other historians, other scientists, basically the best of the best. He brings them out there to help found this library, basically. Now, the books, one of the things that is difficult for some people with the book series, the Foundation book series, is that they are not perfectly linear. They obviously follow each other, but there's big time jumps between them. So a lot of people enjoy reading a series of books because they can really get invested in one particular character, like a Harry Seldon, or Spencer and Robert B. Parker's books, things along those lines. You really get invested, really care about one particular character. These books are more like the culture books by Ian M. Banks, where they jump planets, they jump kingdoms, they jump societies, they jump huge time spans, sometimes hundreds of years. And so you have different characters, different plot lines, different things that are affecting them, but they all come down to Harry Seldon's Foundation and it trying to manipulate and guide the galaxy through these dark ages as things pop up. And they're minor things. The galaxy as a whole has collapsed in society, but this one little tiny planet off in the corner of the galaxy maybe has this warlord rise up that all of the Foundation's research shows that if this warlord is allowed to expand, then that 20,000 year dark ages is guaranteed to happen. So they need to prevent him from expanding. But the flip side could happen as well. Maybe this tiny little planet has this warlord that needs to grow and expand because he will help bring the galaxy out of this dark ages sooner. So now the Foundation actually has to manipulate events from behind the scenes to try and help rise him up. And the books kind of go along with some governments. The Foundation is almost like this mythical force behind it. So some people are trying to find the Foundation as well, trying to defeat it, trying to find its knowledge, trying to hunt him down. And that's almost like a subplot underneath the main plot of these books as well. And it's pretty fascinating how it ends up going, how they end up finding the Foundation, then they end up finding a second Foundation in theory. But was it maybe the main Foundation, and the first Foundation was like a red herring? Hard to say. That would be up to your own interpretation. But again, fascinating book. Absolutely fascinating series. Been made into a TV show. I think it's been tried a couple times, but it just recently got made into a TV show. I want to say on Apple TV. But yeah, if you're a fan of science fiction and you like to, have a little thought behind your books, you got to read the Foundation series. Isaac Asimov was obviously a brilliant science fiction author. He's very incredibly famous. And the Foundation series is kind of his seminal works. So if you haven't read it before, you got to read the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov. Otherwise, thank you everybody for watching. Stay tuned for our next episode. Please hit those like and subscribe buttons. We'll catch you next time. Bye now.